So I'm feeling a little conflicted. It's nothing I couldn't journal about, and in fact I planned on doing some journaling tomorrow as well as some art, and I'm excited because I'm going to play and put music on. And Friday I plan on going on a hike, and Saturday I have plans to see a friend. So I am enjoying having some time off. It was really necessary. It was really needed. It's a challenge at times to be me. And what I mean by that is I have conflicting desires and needs and preferences and things that help me function and feel like safe, comfortable, happy. And then other things that make me feel uncomfortable, stressed, or that just don't really work as good. And so it's a struggle sometimes, because the things that make me feel safe or that or like healthy routines can sometimes like drive me a little nuts, my ADHD, because too much sameness and can make me feel like I'm in a fucking cage and like I need to get out. I feel like I'm feeling today a little bit. It's interesting because I got out for a run earlier and that was lovely. I showered and then I got out and did some errands, and now I'm back home watching a movie, which I've paused a few times because I don't know, I guess I wanted a little mini break in the middle of, a mini break. I took a break at the midpoint of the movie and just checked my Instagram and different things, because I think I went to the bathroom and then I checked my phone. And then now I've only just started watching it again, and now there's maybe 40 minutes left. And I realized, well, I had a pretty filling snack earlier, so I didn't even want to eat until after 9:30 at night, which is obviously too late. But my autism and also just my brain, my body, I feel weird not eating a little something. I don't have to if I'm really not hungry, but it's been so long. I think a meal would do me good, maybe make me feel comforted. And so I'm just making a couple eggs. I'm going to scramble them, and then I've got some sauteed zucchini with spices. So I'm looking forward to that. But that just goes to show, because I had just a snack earlier. I had a bunch of tortilla chips with some guacamole, and then I had I opened up a can of baked beans, and I had some beans because I was kind of craving beans. So that was a lot of protein, a lot of fiber. And then after that I'm just really craving chocolate right now because my time of the month is only days away. And so I'd had a couple earlier, but they're not very big, so it's NBD. I had another fat bomb. They're these little coconut butter, coconut oil, seed butter, and nuts and seeds blended all together with spices and some sweetener, keto sweetener, and they make little fat bomb bars, and they're really good. So my glasses are sliding off. So I had those earlier. So the combination of having the beans were fiber and protein, and then the fat bomb was the fat that really kind of helped me feel better. It's a good sub for chocolate. It's not chocolate, but it does kind of satisfy sweet tooth craving a little bit. What else did I have? Yeah, the chips the chips were carby, and then the guac was fat, healthy fat. So I had plenty, earlier. It was it was only maybe 2 hours after I'd had my first meal. So it was kind of I don't know, just a big snack or a small meal. And so that's why what I'm gonna have now is just another small meal, which I gotta go tend to my veggies because they're gonna stick to the pan if I don't. But I'm feeling a little antsy and uncomfortable because because I've been in my apartment a lot this week, and I think I'm also, for years and years of my life, I kind of spent a lot of time by myself and kept myself small, and I'm in a growing phase. I am truly feeling a need from within, I'm being literally forced to grow. It's a natural, almost I'm being pushed out of my shell. I'm being pushed out of that enclosure of the familiar, the known, the patterns that of old, and I'm coming out of my own, you know what I mean? I'm coming out and I'm putting myself into the world or whatever. And the thing is I don't want my world to just revolve around me and like my thoughts, feelings, and what's going on with me. As a sensitive and a neurodivergent, it takes a lot out of me to do the day-to-day shit. I'd only have so many spoons. And so it's frustrating and difficult, and I'm just being real and kind of venting, saying how I feel. Because I think I have a lot of energy within me, like, my sidereal placements is Leo Sun, Sag Moon, and then Mars Midheaven. Not Mars, Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So an Aries Midheaven. So in my sidereal chart, that's like this natural, like, fire and light and energy and passion and just inspiration all the time. And I think it's beautiful, and I'm embracing it or whatever, but at the same time, I can kind of like exhaust myself and push too hard and be too hard on myself, or just kind of like want everything to happen all at once because I'm excited and passionate and I feel so deeply about it. But sometimes I'm needing to remember like the Piscean and Aquarian perspective, or like a really earthy perspective. Whether it's water or earth, they both are good for me, because, you know, being either too fiery or too airy is not helpful for me, because I already have enough of that in my energy. So being around people that are Aquarius or Pisces, or like a Taurus or a Virgo, those are nice grounding, or flowy, depending, energies that really I think are helpful for me to help remind me. I don't know, just helps me feel like I'm balancing out, or I'm being reminded of that. I get so overstimulated so easily, it's wild. You know what? I love myself. I'm still learning and growing. I'm not like I might have in some regards. I don't like to call it a big one, because it makes me almost sound like I'm outing myself, or like I'm insinuating there's something wrong, or that, you know, because of my energies and my knowing of my power, and because of my past life energies and what have you. I have a Leo South node, and so I have a developed ego, and I know because of that I have value and power. You know what I mean? And so because of that, my north node therefore my soul's mission is to remember those energies I just said that soothe me and comfort me and are good to kind of balance me out. The Piscean energy of just going with the flow and just going with the flow and being more, I've got clothes that I've washed that are just hanging, if you're wondering. They're hanging to dry. They're probably mostly dry, but I'm not putting them away right now. I don't have it in me. So, yeah, I'm burnt out. And you know what? If I get emotional during this video, so be it. You know, this was kind of an impromptu thing, and I don't know if I even need to share it necessarily, though I'm feeling like I want to put myself out there more. There's a part of me that feels like emotional, or like there's some frustration and angst a little bit. Maybe some, I don't know if there's grief, but maybe a little bit. Pardon my clearing of my back of my throat. Sorry about that. So, what am I getting at? Yeah, it's just tough. I feel a little cooped up, but the thing is, if I had gotten busy, instead of watching this movie, if I had read my book, you know, really dove into it today, I probably wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't have enough attention to like go elsewhere to like, you know what I mean? When I really do delve into a book and stuff, it's like it's like you can kind of dive into it and let that be your focus or whatever. But I think a movie, I often can just watch a movie and let that be a nice thing. But occasionally, depending on the film and depending on me, where I'm at, sometimes I pause, or I just need a little mini break. I just don't. It's funny because I know some people who literally just like can't sit through movies. They don't like it. And to be honest, if it's something I really love and enjoy, and I'm not like, you know, if it's something I'm really wanting to do and I'm interested in it, then I absolutely will sit through a movie. But I think it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just because this phase of my life is there's going to be a little bit more action taking, a little more bringing what's inside of me out, a little more applied action, applied passion, applied, you know? I think that's what's being asked of me, and so if I do too much sitting, sometimes I get a little antsy, and plus it could just be because I'm not working, and so I feel a little like I should be doing something. And if not that, then it could be that there's something that's bubbling up, wanting my attention, some emotions that are just surfacing right now, potentially. Yeah, and that's good if so. Yeah. We gotta give ourselves space to feel whatever is coming up. Feels better to talk about it though than to just like feel distraught or pressured or, you know, feel that pressure and like go online. I sometimes go online and just check my socials, and then I like, sometimes I'll check them all again. Like I'll go through like boop, 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 the different apps. And it's like part of me is looking for, I don't know, I'm wanting connection, I'm wanting, you know, and you know what, I think I've been living on my own a little too long. And I don't want to say too long, I think it was what I needed. And I'm reluctant to say that I, you know, I'm not looking to just like snag a boyfriend immediately or anything. I am interested in and realizing it's very much a part of who I am. And it's like time for me to do it. Like for so long I've kind of kept certain things at bay because of trauma and because of my sensitivity. I have like a small social battery. And so because of that, it's kind of complicated. Like I think, yeah, that's why I feel the way I do. I'm being asked to connect with people more and to get out of my bubble, and I'm mad when I can't spit out what I want to say, or if I'm not sure exactly what it is I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go take those veggies off the frying pan in a minute, put them on my plate, and then cook some eggies. I know it's too late to eat, but I've been staying up kind of late-ish lately, and so I got up a little late-ish. 8 or 9 o'clock. I think it was like 8:30 or 8:45. A little later than usual. It's like an hour later than my day off time. I usually get up at 6:45 when I have to work. And then when I don't have to work, I gotta get out of my head. My goodness. Getting distracted by my own thoughts. So yes, 6:45 when I have to work. 7:45, I try to keep it within an hour. Like some people just get up the same time all the time because that works for them and they like that. But on my days off, I like to give myself just a little bit of extra time, but I also don't want to mess up my sleep. So as long as you don't give yourself more than an hour extra rest, you can usually not mess up your sleep schedule. So I get up at 7:45 generally. On days off, unless I stay up super late, and then of course that changes things, and that can skew my sleep schedule. So I've been staying up a little late. Last night, not quite. I don't know if it was quite as late. Maybe it was. I've been staying up to like 1, anywhere from 1:30, and then one night I think I was seriously up at 2. And once in a blue moon I do that. I do. And then I just get up at like 9. And you know what? If you don't have anywhere to be, you're on vacation, that's cool. I just am like, thinking ahead, like I don't want my sleep schedule to be like totally ruined, and for me to, when I go back to work, for me to be screwed. But it won't be that hard for me to get back into it, I don't think. Even if I don't get as much sleep, like if I'm on a later schedule and then I have to go to bed early or like try to force myself to go to bed early and then I can't, and then I don't get as much rest, and then I go into work tired, the following night I'll get the rest I need because it always comes back around, whatever. So I feel good explaining myself and expressing myself, but sometimes I question in my mind if many people, and I'm sure some people don't mind, some people might be bored, lonely, or curious. Aren't we all just bored, lonely, and curious sometimes? You know what I mean? Do we have to explain ourselves, like why we do things? Do we have to... I went for a run earlier and my hair didn't really get dirty. And I just washed it the day before, so I didn't wash my hair. And it's still in okay shape. It's just it looks a little rough in my opinion. So anyway, I wanted to take it down. And I have to go tend to those veggies. I have a feeling they're kind of burning. Oh, okay. I'm gonna pause, tend to my food, and then I'm gonna come back to this because I'm feeling better getting out how I'm feeling or trying. I think what it does is this gives me an opportunity to really touch in on what it is I'm feeling. So I need a haircut, and I usually let my hair grow to like around here, and then the layers end like around my jaw, but they are all the way down here. The shortest layers, you'll see, are much closer to my jaw, see? So it's only a couple inches, 2 or 3 inches too long, right? See? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna get a haircut soon. Alright, pause to tend to food. To be continued. I'm at a phase of my life, sorry, I just ate, and there's a lot of spices in my food, and like herbs, and I think some of them got in my teeth. I don't... The last thing I want to do is use my camera as a mirror, unless I'm not posting this, which who knows, maybe I won't. Oh goodness me. I'm just feeling, if I'm honest, I'm just gonna be honest, right? I need more support and more connection, and I'm being shown, life, God, showing me, I need to connect more with people around me. I need to reach out more instead of like having such a protective wall around me all the time and like keeping people out unless they're like people who share my special interests. I often have kept people out, and I've also just, I don't know, because of my sensitivity, it's like I just keep a lot of people at bay a lot of the time. And also, I'm not in a workspace where there's people around me with who I feel like I can engage with all the time, and so it can get really lonely and feel soul-sucking. And so that's why I truly do want more. And I know I'm not meant to be where I'm at for my workplace. Like, my workplace is where I'm maybe meant to be for now, and it's a good workspace, and I have no immediate plans of going anywhere. But it's not my forever job. It's not, for me and my soul and like what I'm here to do. They exist. They're right there. It's just the lighting. The wand of shy bears. So what am I getting at? Yeah, I'm being shown that in order for me to, the next steps for me are to continue softening my heart, opening my mind and my energy field, and willingness to be more, I'm dropping more into myself, I'm embodying more of myself, and I'm wanting to connect more with people around me, even if they're not like super close to me. I need connection, and I think it's kind of like everything's kind of feels like it's pushing out of me or spilling out of me, like because I think I was like in a bubble for so long. Like I kept myself so restrained and like I tried to be so self-sustained or self-contained for so long that it's like I can't play that game anymore. I can't do that anymore. I am too big for that. It's like my being is like growing inside of me. My soul is just like, no, you're meant to shine and it's time, and it's like forcing me to like change things, and so it's wild, and it's kind of exciting because I feel like a pressure in my chest a little bit while I'm talking about it. definitely a lot of mixed feelings, and who knows if I'm even fully aware of like what these emotions are coming from, where they're coming from, and why. That's what kind of also sucks. When you've been through complex trauma, or you've had to do masking for years, or that's just like the patterns you learn to get by, then you learn to kind of like repress a lot of it or distract yourself, right? And then sometimes you're not always, and this is why I've always tried to periodically check in with myself and journal and be like, how am I feeling? Where am I at? I used to do it a lot more before social media became a thing, or not even but social media, before smartphones became a thing. But now they are, and it's kind of what it is. And of course I could change that. There are people that get the app that like blocks everything out and makes it really, what is it, minimalist phone. Unfortunately, you have to pay for it. It's like $5.99 a month. I'm just like, good God, everywhere you go, it's like everything that's beneficial and good for you, you gotta pay an arm and a leg. It's just like, I feel like in this world nowadays, many things, it's not an accident. They do it on purpose. It's like everybody is basically dogged as much as they can and dragged down as much as they can, and everything's made as difficult as they can, so that the people that make that are running the shit will get as much money and much control and much say as they want. And that's fucking, like, I'm not okay with it. I'm wanting to like right now. It's not okay. I was talking to the guy when picking up my groceries about how they're like killing chickens because of this bird flu, whether it even exists. I think it's a fib, and they're just killing animals because they want food scarcity. And by food scarcity, they want to make it hard for people to get like healthy produce and healthy nutrient-dense foods. They want to try to limit that. And it's just, to me, that breaks my heart. It makes me so fucking mad because people... It's just, if I really get into it too much, it's really hard not to get really like... It's a lot. It's not okay, but it's so... Like, we can get mad all we want, but I feel like in many ways, other than like having awareness, I mean, that it's helpful to know the truth. Like, what can you do? I spread awareness, and then most people say, oh, that's conspiracy theory. I don't know. But no way to, can you tell? I'm ready to share my life with a soul who feels like family and who it's effortless to be with, who can just be like a bosom buddy. I just watched Anne of Green Gables, and the two of the main character girls called themselves bosom buddies, and I just love that. Like, people who just get each other and love each other so much. I want a partner, like a life partner. I want a companion, someone to cohabit with. Yeah, I'm ready to share my life with someone. You can only be, I feel like you can only be single so long sometimes before, like, if you're meant to be with someone else, something's going to change at some point, and, things will shift, and you'll other opportunities to connect with people are going to come. Yeah, and I do have the desire and the intention to be with someone at some point, and feel like some level of like angst about it internally, so it's just frustrating. I just need to do my best to have faith, though, right? So many people are feeling a bit angsty, and I think it's because in the actual sky, it's, I think, the tail end of Pisces season, and sometime mid-April will be Aries season, but I'm not gonna say it. I can feel the spring energies creeping in already. And a lot of people attribute that to Aries and say, oh, it's Aries season. Well, if you go by tropical astrology, yeah. But they don't follow that anymore. So, part of me wonders whether I should share stuff like this. I mean, on one hand, I think it's like really like raw, authentic, unpolished, it's real, and it's just like, hey, this is me, I'm a human being who wants connection, who wants to... Sorry, when my allergies bother me, like the roof of my mouth, the back of my throat itches, and so sometimes I like rub my tongue in the back of my throat and make a noise, and that is just not something I'm gonna do on tape. I gotta take a Zyrtec. Well, real talk, right? Probably gonna wrap this up because I have to finish this video. If I have any hope to read any of my book, I wanted to finish that last chapter today. Ugh, took a gulp of water and the pill did not go down. Oh, I hate that. Eat. Burp. I feel a little sloppy today, a little disheveled, a little half tired, half agitated, half, I don't even know. Wow, yeah, the fact that I even mentioned that, I'm probably gonna cut that out because that was just a little bit silly. I'm gonna cut that out too. This is absurdity. So yeah. Yes, my brain, I'm like, I'm just trying to like over my head the things I want to do the rest of my week, but I also don't like putting pressure on myself because I'm wanting to like let this week be my restful time. But if I just don't like put any thought into it, you know what I mean, and just fuck off the whole time, I'm gonna potentially just waste my time. Potentially. But, you know, I might, you know, I have to have, I think, like just me as a person, I need some measure of like structure, an intention or goal, or you know, I just try to think like what sounds fun, what do I want to do, and then I write, you know, keep those things in mind, and then I just try not to be too rigid about my day when I have rest time. That way I'm doing what I want to do, but yet not being hard on myself if I get distracted with something or if I have other, you know what I mean? So I think that works for me. I feel better now that I've had a meal. I think having food in your body, it's like, you know, I don't know. I think it might be like a hormonal thing or it's just food is comforting. And if you skip a meal or you eat and then for hours you don't eat and you're not really hungry because like whatever you ate filled you up. Sometimes if you're like an emotional or sensitive soul, you need a little something to help ground you or like make you feel a little like... For me, food is like nurturance. It just makes me think. I'm watching the movie The Whale with Brendan Fraser in it, and it's really like somewhat disturbing, intense movie in some regards. It makes me sad, but he eats a lot in the movie, and so I'm like, yeah, that's how people with obesity, that's how they are. That's how, you know, the eating disorder or, you know, instead of like a substance use disorder, like they're addicted to food or they have emotional eating habits. So I feel like I'm jumping around a lot. I'm somewhat absurd today. So I kind of like it. I don't know. I'm just checking in with me, you know. And I like to share myself with the world because I'm often by myself. I spend time with my loved ones when I can. But when you fucking work like too much, you're a creative, like exuberant, bubbly soul. It's funny because like I'm an introvert. Like I can't, but I'm actually kind of like my soul is kind of extroverted. But my body, nervous system, and emotions and energy, like I'm largely introvert because I get so, like, social interactions and events and things and work, everything kind of like takes a lot out of me. And so I definitely seem like I'm introverted. You know what I mean? I seem more introverted, but when I'm so passionate about something and when I have plenty of energy and I'm not burned out, you know, then I seem more extroverted. So you could say I'm an ambivert, really. I don't know, maybe. I feel like I had a point to make and I'm not sure if I made it. That's what happens when you have an ADHD brain and solar flares coming and it's getting late and you're a little tired and a little sensitive. It's like all these things going on. This is what it is to navigate life as a human being. As a highly sensitive empath who's neurodivergent, who's got hormones, emotions, and, you know, yeah, the ADHD brain and then being on the spectrum, it's like, it's a lot, guys. I'm not trying to, like, get your sympathy or anything. I'm not like, oh, woe is me, feel bad for me. I'm sharing because I want to express my truth because I would like for people to understand or to have an idea of what it's like to be me, I guess, or not even to be me, but to share, you know what I mean? Yeah. When you share, it's because you want others to connect with you and understand how you work. It's not necessarily that you expect others to put themselves in your shoes, but when you empathize, you know, with another person, it's like, oh, I think that's truly what it is I'm needing. And I'm getting a little tired, honestly, which is good because I went for a run earlier and I stayed up a little too late last night and got less sleep, so I'm hoping to be able to get to bed slightly earlier tonight. Yay! I want to get back on a better sleep schedule. What was I gonna say? Oh, I hate that. Well, if my channel grows over time, people are gonna learn to get used to my occasionally or frequent disjointedness, pauses, and forgetting what I'm doing, and oh goodness, that doesn't mean that what I have to say isn't valuable, in my opinion. It's just sometimes it takes me a little while to get to the conclusion. Often my videos are just like, I'm wanting to get something out, or I'm feeling a need to, you know? So that's what it is. Okay, I remember. I was reading up about my Mayan astrology placements for my core numbers or my core stuff. I don't remember what it's called. Hold on. I think I'm going to try to wrap this up. But yes, I think a minute ago, I said something about my Mayan astrology. I am a Jaguar shaman. Yeah, and what I'm being shown is like, I have a really, my heart chakra is like actually a really big part of what my placement is in like my soul and what I'm here to like do, I guess. It's just part of who I am, and Jaguar Shaman just talks about just having this energy that stems from the heart, that's really meant for like it's like two hands holding each other. So it's like holding a hand of a partner, or me holding the hands of my customers or my clients, those who need my support. Me having partnership in community and collaborating with others, and that I'm actually like naturally good at that. And it comes from my heart space. And if there's wounding, or if I'm coming from like a distortion, or an ego-y or dark space from yeah, I guess if it's coming from wounding or shadow, because I'm also a manifester, I think is what they were saying. It's almost like a human design Gene Keys term. It's interesting that they included that in there. to re-listen to it, whatever, but it was saying that if you're like a dark manifestor, so yes, the shadow, or wound coming from the wounded place, that you might unintentionally hurt others or get angry or aggressive, or yeah, and I can understand that. So yeah, just the need to connect with people more, and so honestly, after like 5 minutes of trying to explain one simple thing, I'm just gonna say what I've come to the conclusion of is like, yeah, I'm needing community more, and that's why I'm feeling so called from within to just be like, hey, I am a human being. My name is Jen. I am a starseed. I am a healer. I am a way shower. I am an intuitive. I am an artist. I have a small business if you're interested. And I'm not in the habit of advertising for my business much. Occasionally I do, but I guess honestly I prefer to like tell people about it in person. And so I'm really needing to learn and or wrap my head around. I think part of me resists it because it doesn't sound fun, or it sounds hard, or because I don't really have any funds to like pay and get some help with it. And a lot of times people need they need a helper. They need, you know, a marketing coach, you know, someone to work with, and that costs money unless you know someone. But even so, you know, it's got to be an energy exchange of some kind. So it's a little frustrating, but I know in good time, all in good time, right? So I guess that's where I'm at. Sometimes things can feel uncomfortable. Your brain can feel, there's so many multiple parts. There's like an inner child, there's an inner artist, there's inner parts of us that want and need different things. And part of me has been like a bubble girl for way too long, and I'm busting out of my bubble and putting myself out into the world more, and that's really great and exciting, but it's also like, whoa, and I don't have everything figured out, and that's fine, but I'm also wanting to, like, I'm also recognizing I need, you know, support, and I'm wanting to plug into more community, build up a community, online and in person. I'd love to start plugging into, like, having, like, a monthly women's circle again, like a red tent, which I used to attend at a local metaphysical shop in Freeport, Maine. The facilitator moved. She's since moved back, so I mean I could mention it to her, but I kind of feel like if I want this group, I should either A, talk to Leap and Lizard, see if they've got anything like that going on, and maybe even consider, do I want, if there is, I can maybe consider attending a meeting, or even maybe starting a meeting of my own of some kind, whether it's online or in person. I feel like it's not necessarily my place to be like, hey, so-and-so, do you want to like start up that group again? But I could just let her know, hey, I just realized, you know, when you said recently that you moved back, is there any chance, or, you know, that you have any interest to get doing that again? Because I really enjoyed that, really valued that connection and that community, that women's group. And just was wondering if you had any thought or interest or intentions of getting that started again. Doesn't hurt to ask. If she's not doing it no more, she ain't. But if she is, that'd be cool. So, all the things, you know, yeah. I think I'm honestly just a human that spends a lot of time by themselves. And so, that when I do spend time with people that I love, it's precious to me. Part of me, when I hear myself and I'm hearing my story, I'm like, that's so sad. But it's not. I have a good life, a life I'm happy with, and I'm strong, and I'm exuberant, and I love the beauty in life, and I have a really, you know what, if I didn't have a strong spiritual connection, and if the people in my life weren't really beautiful souls, then it would be really sad. But I have such a strong connection to my intuition, to God, to my own soul, to spirit, and I have so many rich interests, you know, and I'm beginning to recognize the importance of my creativity as a conduit for my, you know, for my creative energy and inspirations, and even a spirit channel. It's like a way to channel energy and information from my subconscious or from spirit. So it's really neat when you're intuitive and you do art. And that's why Soul's Journey Reiki and intuitive arts. It's almost like I'm coming to recognize the deeper or overarching reason that I named my business that, because I was just doing intuitive paintings, but I guess I just liked the name intuitive arts. And I'm like, well, this makes me realize like that I'm gonna I'm deepening into that more, and so it's really exciting. Anywho, bless you if like, bless your heart if you listen to me ramble on. I think don't we all ramble sometimes? Not everybody, but and I deserve to, if you don't want to listen, don't. That doesn't mean what I have to say doesn't matter. If you're not feeling it, you're bored with it, don't listen. But how I feel and my desire for self-expression, even whether it's just like a memo to self, a vlog, whatever, it's healthy, whether you write in a journal or a diary, or if you do vlogs, whatever. I know some people probably just like go live and they're just like blah 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 blah. And you know what, lives are kind of cool to do every now and then. And I actually did one a number of months back, and it's kind of neat. I'll probably do them again in the future. Yeah, I'm wanting to put myself out there more, and it's exciting. I'm actually looking forward to doing so, but it's getting out of my comfort zone, and it's sharing more of who I am with the world. And in that, I'm going to begin to suss out how to market myself and share what I do and everything else. So it's all good. It's like there's conflicting stuff in me right now. Like part is like, oh, when you're like trying to manifest something, you know what I mean? Something that you desire, when you want to manifest it, there's other people say, oh, don't call it in. If you call it in, you're acting, then you're believing believing that you don't already have it, that you have lack. And you're also like, and that's reiterating that in your mind or whatever, and that's not helpful. I'm like, well, what the fuck, man? You gotta call it in, speak it into being, let the universe know what it is you're looking for. So anyway, calling it in is not saying that it's not already within you, but I'm calling it into my awareness. I'm naming it, and there's power there. I think some stuff is already within us, or it's already in the works in the universe, and it's just like, okay, I'm naming that thing. And if it's for me, and if it's time, it'll come. If not, it may take more time or not be for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I'm going to wrap up the video for now. If I rewatch it and realize there was something else I wanted to say, I might add a little memo after note. But anyway, I hope you guys are having a good week. Happy Wednesday. Bye for now.